Hi, friends. I'm Rabbi Shmuly Yanklowitz from Yatom, the Jewish Foster and Adoption Network, where we are working with the American Jewish community and beyond to do our part to support vulnerable children. Roughly 700,000 children who enter the foster care system every year here in America, over 400,000 at any given time. And in addition to supporting those families and those children, we want to advocate for an inclusive system that's fair to all parties. And unfortunately, a troubling situation emerged recently, which we're going to explore today, so that American Jews kind of understand some of the obstacles that can emerge and some of the possible tools towards navigating those. I'm pleased to introduce Gabriel and Elizabeth Rutenram, who are Georgia natives who moved to Tennessee after college. He works in marketing and she works in health insurance. About a year ago, they were ready to grow their family and began to seriously pursue adoption when they ran into an unexpected barrier, the faith. After approaching the only foster care agency in their area that would assist them with the state-mandated training for an out-of-state placement, the taxpayer-funded agency told them it wouldn't help them because they are Jewish. We're also want to welcome here today Alex Luchenitzer, who is their attorney. So Elizabeth and Gabe and Alex, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So what was it that led you to decide to want to become foster parents in the first place?
So I always wanted to foster and to adopt since I was small. I don't remember how far back. And when I was in college, I was a CASA, the court-appointed advocate for kids in foster care. And that really solidified me wanting to go that route. And Gabe has been on board since the beginning. So we just really wanted to help other kids and go that route to build our family.
Amazing, amazing. And so what happened for you in this upsetting case that so many of us read about? What was it you experienced? And what advice would you give to other families that experience something similar?
So I went online and we were looking specifically at children who were already eligible to be adopted. The parental rights had already been terminated, and we found a child that we wanted more information and to try and adopt. And they said we had to have specific training through our own state. So I started researching it, trying to figure out how to get that training, found one agency who would help us. And I had asked them, would our religion be a problem? And they said, I don't think so, but we'll get back to you. And so we continued with the process, did all the paperwork and signed up for the classes. And the day we were supposed to start our training, they sent me an email saying that they couldn't help us anymore.
And then, it's kind of, when you get that, it kind of takes the wind out of your sails. I mean, especially as Jews, we face adversity all the time. I mean, just recently we look at like the Texas situation, and it's, you never really, like, you read about it, but then like when you're actually faced with it, it kind of like, it makes it real and, very troubling. But it's one of those, as Jews, we have a nice history of bearing down and, rolling with the punches and kind of keep trudging forward. And that's kind of what we did. And what we do is, we face a lot of hardships in our people's history, and you just have to be flexible and understand that there is a path forward, and just keep going for it.
And just like we had to do with the pandemic when everything changed, and you had to be flexible and adapt. If you encounter problems with this, you have to evaluate your goals and find ways to reach them. And there's other avenues. It may be slightly different than what you had planned on, but definitely don't stop trying if that's what you want.
So in your case, how did this event affect the way you're thinking about your future and how you're planning for your own parenting?
It's hard to plan with foster care. So lots of flexibility. We were planning, on one child that, this is the child we picked out. And instead with foster care, it's, you don't just pick out a child. And so we do have a foster child with us now, and our goal is to adopt in general, whether it be that child or, children in the future. And so we're happy with it all. It worked out, the route we did end up taking. So just keep fostering, and it's been a journey, that's for sure.
Yeah. So how has your Jewish identity or your Jewish values kind of influenced how you think about all of this at large, both your parenting journey, kind of this obstacle you experienced, and your future path?
Yeah, kind of alluded to it earlier about, Jews have a long history of hardships, throughout everything. But it's also, it goes back to the concept of, tikkun olam, especially when you're dealing with kids within the foster care system. So many of them have a lot of trauma, and, they need just a loving home in order to work through that trauma to become the individuals that they want to be and that everybody sees in them. And so, we just want to do our part to give these children a place where they can feel safe, feel welcome, and develop into the person that they want to be to achieve their goals and dreams, and just, make the world a better place, one person at a time, one soul at a time.
And it's really exciting teaching them about another religion, culture. Most of them they have no idea what Judaism is or any of the practices. And so it's exciting. It's fun teaching them all the new things and new foods. And
yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Well, I'm so inspired by you both, Gabriel and Elizabeth, how not only your fostering commitment and adoption commitment, but also just your Jewish commitment and how you've interwoven those, how you tied the history of Jewish resiliency to your own resiliency around the need to be adaptive and flexible towards a very complex system. My own experience as a foster parent and our experience supporting foster families is it requires an enormous amount of grit and commitment to be in this game with such setbacks, usually not malicious, but sometimes there's those who are working against us, it seems. And so I wish you continued strength in your journey.
Thank you.
And continued inspiration and love. And like you said, the tikkun olam, the repairing of the world through addressing another's trauma and offering care and love. I think that's ultimately our role here in the world. So thank you both for your time and for all you're doing. Thanks you, Alex, for joining us as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi. We appreciate it.
And to those listening, please feel free to reach out to us if you would like to be in our next cohort, Yatom family cohort, of those looking to foster or adopt who are looking for a stipend, looking for education, and looking for a community. If you're looking for a micro grant to help support your journey, or if you are looking for advocates who can help support to ensure that this is a fair and equitable and inclusive system for all. God bless. Have a great day.
Thank you.